Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more Feed the Beast Unstable. And between episodes, quite a few things have happened. So I spent a little bit of time trying to build up a bit of a base here, so we'll have somewhere to work and somewhere to, hide from the mobs when the darkness comes between episodes. And it's definitely a work in progress, as you can probably tell from the lack of roof, making us particularly susceptible to rain. And also, there's still some windows and whatnot that need to be put in to fully finish the walls here. But whilst I was building this little base here that we've got going on, a couple of things happened. So you may notice, first of all, that we have a new friend and, three new friends out here in our kind of like front garden area. And this wandering trader just appeared. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but we've got a bunch of different stuff that we can buy off this guy. It's quite nice, I guess, having like a little personal trader, kind of somewhat trapped. I guess he could try and escape if he wanted to, but for the most part, he might be trapped at this point in time, but that's fine. The other thing that happened, which was a little bit more scary, is this bad omen debuff that we've managed to acquire, because between episodes I was building away, minding my own business, and some pillagers just appeared out of nowhere with crossbows and began attacking me, which wasn't the greatest. Thankfully I didn't die. I did manage to fend them off and kill them, but when I killed them I got the bad omen debuff, and I've been told that if I were to go over to the nearby village over there, that would trigger a raid, thus causing even more pillagers to come and fight, and we'd have to do a whole thing. And so I would really like to try and get rid of that debuff if at all possible, not only due to the fact that I would like to at some point go to the village without having to fight a ton of pillagers, but also because of the fact that it, more annoyingly, moves the minimap on the right down to such an awkward location. That little icon in the top right-hand corner, I wish that it was just maybe next to the map or maybe on the other side of the screen. The fact that it pushes that minimap down just a little bit is really annoying. And so I've been told that if I go and get a bucket of milk, I should be able to drink said bucket of milk and get rid of my debuff. Now, whilst we are out and about, another thing that I would like to do, if possible, is try and get a little bit of clay, because right now we have got this guy here, the oak upgraded fence, as well as quite a bit of oak upgraded fence from the CFM mod, which I think looks quite nice, as well as two spruce doors here, of course, to get us into our base, and I would preferably like to replace those with pressure plates. However, of course, the normal downside to pressure plates is that mobs can walk over them, right? And so you don't want, in the middle of the night, a creeper or a zombie walking over your pressure plate directly into your building and then blowing you up or attacking you or shooting you with a bow, whatever it may be. And so, thankfully, one of the mods in the pack does add a player-only pressure plate. That being this one right here, the player-sensitive pressure plate from Assisted Progression. And it's actually really easy to make. It's just 2 brick, and that gets you that pressure plate. And so, if we can get a couple of pieces of clay, we can go ahead and craft up a couple of those player-only pressure plates. And we're also going to need quite a bit of brick today for some of the machines we're going to make. So I believe it is Silent Mechanisms is the mod we're going to work with. And one of the first machines we're going to have to make from that mod is the alloy furnace, or the alloy smelter here. And this is made with, you guessed it, some brick. And so we do need some clay anyway. Getting the pressure plates is just going to be an added bonus. And so let's go ahead and see if we can't get a little bit more clay. Here we go. There's quite a bit down here. Fantastic. Now, another thing that I did learn between episodes is that there is actually a way to chop down an entire tree at once. I mentioned it a little bit in the last episode. I was kind of looking through JEI, trying to figure out if there was any way to get a lumber axe from the Silent Gear mod, and there isn't, as far as I can tell right now, and there's no way to make your Silent Gear tools actually work like a lumber axe, which, for those who don't know, chops down an entire tree at once. But, as it turns out, if you break the bottom of a log of a tree, the entire tree will fall down, but only if you use a vanilla tool. Using the custom tools from the Silent Gear mod doesn't cause the tree to fall down. And so, unfortunately, this guy right here, the stone axe that we've got from Silent Gear, isn't particularly useful right now because it takes significantly longer to break a tree down with that axe than it does to break a tree down with a standard vanilla Minecraft axe. And I'll show you in just a second here. Real quick, let's go ahead and start smelting up some of this clay. We'll go ahead and smelt up maybe half of it, like so, and we'll just go ahead and throw in a little bit of the tiny coal chunks for the time being, like so. And then if I quickly go ahead and grab 2 sticks and 3 cobblestone, which has been a bit of a problem between episodes because of the fact that I made my my trash back here multiple times when I was building the walls here and also trying to repair my tools. I just didn't have enough cobblestone to get a job done. And so real quick, let me dump this trash bag into a chest for the time being, because this is one of those situations where we actually do need a little bit of cobblestone. I just don't have it on hand right now. So real quick, I'm going to grab this. I haven't done any mining just yet. I am going to go ahead and do that in just a second here. But real quick, if we pop back in and if we craft up 3 cobblestone with 2 sticks, we should get a vanilla Minecraft X, simple stuff. And then if we head on out to one of the trees over here, we should be able to see this in action. So if we get our old axe and we break the bottom log, nothing happens. Now, if we replace that log and then we break it with the stone axe from Minecraft, the whole tree comes down at once. And it works for all of the trees. Like every tree that I've tried it on so far has this effect. I even went over to the village, which is kind of just over in that direction. I was trying to get some spruce wood, which is what I've used for my floor. And it seems to have a bit of a weird kind of vein mining effect where it will break, if you break the bottom log of a tree, and I think it defines a tree as being like on dirt or on grass, it will then break like any log attached to that log. And so I don't want to get too close to this village just in case I do trigger this this raid here, but you might be able to make out over there in the distance. Probably not, but I did fully destroy one of the villager farms. Like there's just water flowing everywhere because all of the wood around it just completely disappeared whenever I broke the tree next to it, and the whole thing just came crashing down. But nevertheless, real quick, I've done enough rambling at the start of today's episode here. Before we get into the meat of today's episode, before we get into trying to double some of our ores and go and do some mining, I would very much so like to see if we can't find a cow to acquire some milk and try and get rid of this bad omen debuff, so that even if it's by accident, I don't end up wandering into a village and triggering a raid without any armor and with my little spear that I've got right here as my only form of defense. And so it is getting late. I think I will go and sleep real quick if I can find my way back to my building. I've not done enough exploration yet to be fully comfortable with the layout. There it is. I've walked right past it. We should also probably keep on grabbing these as we go here. You may have noticed back at the base I have been planting them down in that kind of like little outside garden area that I've set up, just so we have a nice consistent source of food going forward. And also I think it adds a little bit to the front of the building here. It makes it look a little bit nicer, and where possible we should probably be harvesting these. They're not particularly great on the food front. You'll see if we eat them here, they restore 1 chicken leg worth of hunger, which is acceptable. You know, it's not terrible, but it's also not the best. There are a couple of things that we can do in order to get it to be a little bit better. I think we can craft 3 of them together with a bowl to make like a soup of some description. Let me check real quick. If we were to craft 3 raspberries and a wooden bowl, you get a fruit salad. And now I'm assuming that that's kind of like a mix and match kind of deal, because if we look at blueberries, for example, they also have the same fruit salad there. And so presumably, if I were to go ahead and craft up a vanilla Minecraft bowl, which if memory serves me right is just this, I guess we can mix it like that. We totally can. Nice. So we should probably just craft all of our berries into fruit salads, like so, because 1 berry has, 1 chicken leg and then like a half chicken leg worth of saturation, and then the fruit salad, which is 3 berries, has 4 chicken legs and then 2.5 worth of saturation. Annoyingly, much like soup, they do not stack, which is maybe an argument to not turn all of our berries into fruit salad, but I don't know, it might be worth it just to have the extra hunger and whatnot, especially given that we are now completely out of steak. And so real quick, let me go see if I can't find one of these cows. Oh, and would you look at that? Sugarcane. Fantastic. Here we go. Boop. And hopefully, thank goodness. All right, the debuff is gone. The minimap has moved back to its original location, which I'm very happy about. And finally, we can go over to the village without having to worry about starting a raid or anything like that in the future. Very nice indeed. All right. Before we do that, though, let me go ahead and make these pressure plates here, because I'm fairly certain that our clay should be smelted now into at least a couple of bricks. They are indeed. Good stuff. And so if we just go ahead and do something like this, we can go ahead and I guess for now make maybe 4 of these. I do want a few. Now, we only really need them on the outside of a door, right? So for example, we only need them for this door, here, and here, because if a mob manages to make its way into the inside of my building, it's already, we've already messed up, right? So on the inside, we can probably get away with just regular old vanilla Minecraft oak pressure plates, like so. We only want them to stop the mobs from coming in, like so. And then the same is true for this guy over here. Now, we probably don't need 2 down. I'm assuming that 1 will do the trick. You can't use them with this. Huh. That is a little annoying. I really wish that this upgraded gate actually worked with the pressure plates. Nevertheless, it's not too bad. It does open like simultaneously with both sides. It's not too difficult to right click, right? But nevertheless, we now have a nice little automated way of getting into and out of our building that also prevents mobs from getting in as well, which is real nice. And so now, guys, what I am going to do real quick, first things first, I'm going to put down this sugarcane and start a bit of a sugarcane farm over by this body of water that we have here. And to do that, we should probably dig out a bit of space around the actual water itself. And then once we have done that, I'm going to head on down into my mine and try and find a couple of resources, a couple of key resources. We're really looking for a bunch more iron. We do have a little bit left over, but really we could do with a significantly larger amount than what we have right now. And really it's kind of redstone that we're after, because once again, if we look at the recipe for the machines that we're going to make here, we need to get ourselves the crusher, which comes in two forms, the basic and the advanced. The only difference being that one is faster than the other. The basic crusher is the one we're going to start with because we don't have what it takes just yet to make the advanced crusher, requiring things like the redstone alloy ingot, an advanced machine frame, and the bismuth steel ingot. Still not quite sure how that's pronounced, but the basic crusher, much easier. It is 3 bronze, 3 aluminum, 1 stone machine frame, and then 2 smooth stone. We do need to make an alloy furnace to get the bronze. The alloy furnace is made with some tin, some copper, another stone machine frame, and then 2 stone bricks, which we do now have what it takes to make like so. And then after that, we can come back up and we can look at starting to automate the process of smelting our ores, automating the process of kind of organizing some of the other things that we have in our chests and whatnot, and hopefully doubling all of the stuff that we get into 2 and maybe, just maybe even 4 if we can get certain things taken care of in today's episode. But nevertheless, with that, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to do a little bit of mining, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a couple of pickaxes later, and we now have an inventory full of stuff. Some of it more useful than others, but we've got an inventory full of stuff nonetheless, and not really a whole lot of space to put it. Now, one of the things that I didn't get really as much of as I would have liked to have gotten is gold ore. We only found 1 piece of gold ore despite doing a lot of our mining down kind of around Y level 11 to 16. We also didn't find any tin or copper. I don't think we might have got a little bit, but I did spend, again, most of my time down at those lower Y levels, and I'm fairly certain that both tin and copper are found quite high up in the world, kind of around the 30 to 40 Y level. But real quick, let me go ahead and repair my iron pick, which I did make using the silent gear mod. So we can go ahead and do something like this and then something like that to fully repair our iron pick. Fantastic. But real quick, one way that we can actually get ourselves more gold more easily is if we go ahead and grind this gold down into 2 gold ore, or 2 gold pieces even, and then if we smelt that into 2 gold ingots, we can then craft those 2 gold ingots into a gold divining rod, which is going to show us where the gold ore is around us in, I think, an 11 by 11 area. So real quick, divining rod, they are right here. They're from the random things mod. There's one for pretty much each of the vanilla ores, you know, coal, lapis, iron, gold, redstone, emerald, diamond, and then there's a vanilla divining rod, which is all of them combined together, and will show you all of the vanilla ores in the game within, again, I think an 11 by 11 area around the player. So to make this, we do need 1 of our spider eyes. Thankfully, we got that in a previous episode for killing quite a few spiders. And we also need at least a couple of sticks. And so real quick, let's go ahead and grab some of those. Boom and boom. And then we should have what it takes to make the gold divining rod. And now this thing is super useful. So now if we head on back down to the same mine that we were just in, and we go right down to Y level 16, Y level 11, somewhere around there, whenever we get close to gold ore, we should see a little yellow or gold box appear through the wall where the gold ore is. So right here is level 11. Let's go a little bit higher. We've got a little bit of mine going on here at Y level 16. And so if we just kind of slowly move through here, if there is any gold ore around us, it should make itself visible. Now, gold ore is fairly rare in the grand scheme of things compared to the rest of the ores. And this is where we found our first piece just a minute ago. And I can hear some kind of creature fairly nearby. Sounds like a villager, of all things. There we go, look at that. So there is a little vein of gold. All of those blocks down there, all of those yellow blocks are little pieces of gold. And so if we go ahead and dig down to that area, and I still no idea where this guy is, by the way, this guy who's growling at me. He sounds like he's like in the wall there, but if we go ahead and dig down, maybe not dig straight down. It's usually not a good idea in Minecraft, but you can see this is gold ore. And this is super cool because it means that going forward, just having this in our inventory, I'm fairly certain it works no matter where it is. Just having it, or maybe not, maybe it has to be on the hotbar. Okay, so a quick look at the wiki, and it turns out it either has to be in your on-hand or in your off-hand, but we can carry it around in the shield slot here, and we can just find any gold ore that's around us, which is super useful. It makes finding gold ore significantly easier going forward, and then if we can get that vanilla divining tool and we can find every single vanilla ore that there is without having to do, a ton of strip mining. We just know where they are because we can see it all through the wall. That would be absolutely fantastic. And so what I'm going to do now, guys, is once again, I'm going to pop away. I'm going to do a bit more mining up at around Y level 35 to 40 to try and find some of that tin and some of that copper. I'll also probably go ahead and grab that gold real quick, actually. But I'll also go ahead and probably start grinding all of the iron, all the gold, all of the useful resources that we get into dust, and then smelting those into ingots, and then when we come back, we'll start working on trying to double, if not even quadruple, all of those ores. Alright, so quite a bit of mining and a lot of jumping on this pressure plate later. We finally have an assortment of ingots ready to go. Not a ton of them, but definitely enough to get started here. So the first thing that we're going to make is the coal generator, because none of the machines that we're going to make today are going to do anything unless they have some form of power. And this guy is a really easy to make, really simple, turn coal into power kind of machine. And to make it, we need 3 iron ingots, 2 copper ingots, 1 of these stone machine frames, 2 cobblestone, and then 1 refined iron ingot, which you can make by simply smelting a regular iron ingot in a regular old furnace like so. And so real quick, let's take a look at what we need for the stone machine frame. We need smooth stone, which is stone smelted. We need glass, which we have. And do we have any stone lying about? I don't necessarily think we do. We've got quite a bit of cobblestone though, and so we'll get some of that smelting up over here whilst we wait. We've got the refined iron, which is good. We've got the copper. We also need, of course, the alloy smelter. This guy right here. For that, we, of course, I think we'll go with the basic one for now, but we need those 2 bricks, which I'm fairly certain we did make earlier in today's episode. We did indeed. And I guess real quick, whilst I wait for the stone to smelt up here, one thing that we've been working towards for the past episode and a half, or trying to work towards for the past episode and a half, is getting, of course, the hammer blueprint so that we can make a hammer from Silent Gear and mine in a nice large 3x3 area. And the plan originally was going to be to use the crusher from Silent Mechanisms to get that paper from wood, but because I spent so much time mining and so much time jumping to get all of the ores turned into dusts, we've actually managed to get quite a bit of sugarcane, and I think I even have quite a bit more in my inventory as well. I do indeed, and so I'm fairly certain that we actually have all that it takes to make this hammer blueprint without having to get the crusher and without having to turn any wood into paper or anything like that. And so it is simply just 1 stick and then 6 blueprint paper. The blueprint paper is made with 4 paper and 1 blue dye. Blue dye, thankfully, we can make with blue berries if we craft them like so. And so if we take you and we do something like this, we can get ourselves 8 blueprint paper, and then we can craft that up with a regular old stick. Yes, I was checking it didn't require a stone stick. It does not. It will take any old stick. And so boom and boom. Nice. So we now have a hammer blueprint ready to go. And so if, for example, we did something like this, we can get ourselves an iron hammer head, and then if we craft that up with, once again, a vanilla Minecraft stick, we should be able to get ourselves a hammer. Nice. Now, I'm not quite sure if iron was the best material for us to make it out of there, but nevertheless, as a starting hammer goes, we should now be able to mine in a nice wide 3x3 area, which is super nice. It's going to make strip mining, like what I was doing earlier, significantly easier, and combined with our divining rod is also going to give us just a nice large range of places to find ores, which is super neat. Now, unlike the Tinker's Construct hammer, I'm fairly certain that this one does not mine everything in the 3x3 area. For example, if we were to mine here, I think the Tinker's hammer would mine even this copper ore here, whereas this one does. Huh. Okay, I wonder if that works the same for every ore then, because when I tested this previously, it did not seem like it wanted to work for every single ore. So real quick, let me go and check if it works on some other ores down here. If it does, that's great. If not, I was going to suggest that maybe we could use our tool belt here that we've been using since the end of the last episode to kind of switch between our iron pickaxe and the hammer. So we can use the hammer to strip mine, and then if an ore comes around that we can't mine, we could then go ahead and swap it out for the iron pickaxe. Now, this over here is chaos ore, which I can't mine with my iron pickaxe, nor can I mine it with the iron hammer. But it looks like, yes, you'll see here that at least with the vanilla ores, maybe, it doesn't seem to mine anything but what you initially mine. I'll try it up here as well. Yeah, so it didn't quite mine everything there, which is a little weird. Like, sometimes it seems like it mines a few things, and sometimes it doesn't. What if I do like this? Yeah, see, that didn't mine that there. So I guess, nevertheless, it's worth having, you know, our iron pickaxe and our hammer on the same page so we can swap out if we need to and mine up large amounts of ores. But nevertheless, let's head on back up to the surface because we have got some machines to make. So, back up here, I've smelted the stone into smooth stone. Real quick, I am going to sleep so that we do not die overnight. Although, I would love to try and find some more spiders here because getting that vanilla divining rod so we can see all of the vanilla ores would be super nice. But real quick, let's head back over to our dual crafting table and see if we've got what it takes to make the stone machine frame. We do indeed, and then from there we should fairly easily be able to make ourselves the stone generator, iron, copper, and cobblestone. I think the cobblestone is all that we are missing. Boom, and boom. Nice. So for now, we will throw this guy down probably right about here. And I'm going to pick this up because I don't think we're going to be using the grinder here anymore going forward. Between episodes, it was suggested to me that maybe we could try and get some mobs potentially to kind of jump on here. I was thinking it could be really cool if we could get some of those ender slimes that we saw in the last episode, kind of trap them in above the grinder and have them jump to double our ores for us. That would have been probably very slow, but also, you know, a little bit more interesting than just a regular old machine. Unfortunately, I did some testing and it just doesn't work. You can't get mobs to activate this grindstone, at least not in the current version of the game. And so unfortunately, we are left with the regular old basic crusher, which we can make with bronze ingots. For those, we go over to our basic alloy smelter, tin, copper, and another stone machine frame, I think is everything that we need and should not be too difficult. This wandering traveler or wandering salesperson is still wandering around trying to get me to buy stuff. I think it is a different salesperson. Either that or they've just changed what they're selling because it does seem like he's offering slightly different stuff here to what he was before. But nevertheless, over here, for now, we'll throw our basic alloy smelter down right about there. And then if we go ahead and put some coal into the coal generator, we should begin to see some power building up inside of here. Nice. And so in here, we then want to go ahead and craft up 3 copper and 1 tin. And that should, hopefully, very slowly turn into, I think, 4 bronze ingots. It does indeed. Nice. And we only need 3 of them to get the basic crusher. And I don't know if you can upgrade the basic crusher to the higher tier of crusher. It doesn't look like you can, and in fact, it might not be a terrible idea for us to look at potentially going straight in at the higher tier of crusher. It does require quite a lot of this redstone alloy ingot, but that is just redstone and iron. It also requires this bismuth steel ingot, which is iron, coal dust, which requires that we actually crush. Oh no, so we do have to get, okay. I was going to say we have a little bit of bismuth ore. We did find some while we were down there. It's this kind of like speckled ore in the top right here. Unfortunately, the requirement of coal dust does mean that we have to get a crusher before we can get the more advanced crusher. And so for now, we'll go with the basic version. What are we missing here? I think we're missing 1 more smooth stone. Boom and boom. Nice. So, much like with our grinder over here previously, this crusher should now be able to turn any ore that we put into it into 2 or dust that we can then smelt into 2 ingots. But if we go ahead and throw this guy down, I think for now, where do I want to put this? For now, I'm going to put it here. It's definitely going to need some reworking, but for now, I'm going to put it there because what I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab a hopper and then pump that into a furnace, right? So we can actually fully automate this process. Now, we're not just going to use any furnace. We're in fact not even going to use the electrical furnace added by this mod because if we make ourselves a gold furnace from the MC furnace mod, we can actually double the doubling. We can get 4 ingots for every 1 piece of ore that we put in. So for this, we are going to have to get a little bit more in the way of iron. Thankfully, we do have quite a bit of iron ore. And so for now, I will go ahead and throw that into there. To get the power up to here, we are, of course, going to have to get some form of cable. Now, one thing to bear in mind in the early days right now is that not all of the cables from all of the mods work with other mods. For example, the energy cable here from Cyclic works with Cyclic, but doesn't actually work with the Silent Mechanism mod. And so you can't use those energy cables interchangeably. I believe it is called Wire. Is what we're after here? Yes, I believe we need this wire right here, which is made with redstone alloy ingots and copper. The redstone alloy ingots, of course, iron and redstone. Now, I am fairly certain that we should be able to combine regular iron with the redstone dust. However, I think that is only a 1-to-1. And so we are going to need to get 1 more piece of iron. And so real quick, we are going to have to jump back onto our good old friend, the grinder. Good thing we put him back down again. Where is the remainder of my iron ore. There's a little bit there, and the rest of it is up here in my basic crusher. So, oh, you get 4 at a time. Oh, look at that. You learn something new every day. Oh, you get 2 at a time. We did it twice. I see. Okay, so that should thankfully be enough for us to make some copper wire here, like so, some energy wire, which we can now run up like so. Now, doesn't have the nicest texture, and somewhat annoyingly, doesn't connect up from the top either. It has to be from the side. Either way, so long as this has power, I would hope that that would... Oh, maybe we have to put it in at the front here? Like that? No, that also does not work. Okay, give me a second. Let me see if I can figure out how this works. Okay, so 2 rather annoying things here. 1, I could not get the wire to work. And 2, if you break at least the basic crusher, but I would assume maybe some of these other machines as well, they just break, they just disappear. You don't get them back. So I broke the basic crusher with my pickaxe and it was just destroyed. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's like intended, but a top tip if you're going to play this pack is to use the kind of shift right click and pick up mod if you want to move machines like this in the future. But nevertheless, this is now here, and so we can, if we want, go ahead and finally take our iron ore out of here and throw it into here. That's going to slowly but surely turn all of our iron into 2 iron dust. And then, as I alluded to a second ago, if we go ahead and get ourselves the upgraded furnace, that being the gold furnace here, we can actually double our dust into 4 ingots. So to do that, we of course have to go through the tiers of furnace. It starts with a regular furnace, which we have, then goes up to an iron furnace, which is thankfully a little bit faster than a regular furnace, but crucially doesn't have that ore doubling mechanic. The ore doubling is only added by the gold and the diamond furnaces. Now, the gold one is quite expensive in the short term at least. It requires quite a lot of gold to get going. Specifically, I think like 32, because we need 27 in the 3 blocks and then an extra 5 on top of that. The same is true for the iron. The diamond one, for now at least, is prohibitively expensive, requiring a whopping 32 diamonds to get going. And so for the time being, we're just going to go ahead and throw our iron chunks in here. As you'll see, a nice bit faster than a regular furnace, but we're still getting only 1 ingot per smelt here. And so the next step is to instead switch on over to our gold ore, smelt all that up, at least until we have 32 ingots, craft that up into a golden furnace, and at that point, we should be able to quadruple our ores. All right, and that's 32 gold ingots. Nice. So we will go ahead and grab this guy. Hopefully, this doesn't break. It doesn't. Fantastic. And so we should, over here, be able to craft up 3 gold blocks, like so, and then take all of those and go boom, boom, and get ourselves a golden or block.mcfurnace.gold_furnace. Name could probably do with some work, but for now, if we throw this down and we do the same again, we put in some coal, and now if we throw in these gold ore chunks, instead of getting 1 gold ingot per craft, we get 2 golden ingots every single time. Not only that, but it's also faster than the previous furnace as well. This is crazy. This is crazy how good it is. In previous versions of Minecraft, you had to do so much work to get to ore quadrupling that this is kind of insane. Now, the tricky bit here is automating this because of how janky these machines are right now. So I think basically the fact that I can't run wire up, the reason why I put this previously up here is because I, of course, wanted to have hoppers moving things down to the right location. But I think what I'm going to have to do, hold on, if I get close enough, there we go. What I'm going to have to do this time is move everything up to here so that we can have all of our ores be turned into dust up here. We can then have a good old-fashioned hopper, bring that down and put that into our golden furnace. So we'll take this out and we'll move this up to here, like so. We'll then have a hopper like that. I'm fairly certain that that will work. We'll find out in just a second. It does indeed. Good stuff. Now, if we wanted to actually fully automate this, or at least automate it a little bit more than it's automated right now, we're going to need to get at least 2, or maybe even 3 more hoppers. So real quick, let me grab 1 more. The third hopper, I guess, would go probably... Let me grab a chest as well. And actually, one thing that I probably will do real quick is upgrade our chests to crates, because right now we have these chests, but the crates are upgradable and presumably have significantly more storage, just requiring some stripped wood and some planks. And then, if I am not mistaken, because I'm fairly certain that stripped wood is a somewhat newish mechanic, At least it's a mechanic that I'm not super familiar with. Where is my vanilla hatchet? Here it is. We're going to need some more wood. I'm fairly certain that you strip wood by simply right-clicking with an X. You do indeed. Now, I'm hoping that that's correct. Oh, it accepts any log. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a stripped log. Okay. Well, if you didn't know, that's how you go about stripping logs of their logness. So I'll grab just a few more of these, and then we should be able to make, at the very least, a basic crate, but potentially even, you know, an iron or a gold crate as well. And one of the many benefits of the crates over a regular chest is that they also retain their inventory when you break them. And so if you want to break something, move it somewhere else, it will retain everything inside of it without the need to upgrade it or anything like that. And you can just pick it up, move it elsewhere, and it should have everything just where you left it. So real quick, let's get some planks. Let's craft up our first crate. And I'm fairly certain this one is just the size of a regular Minecraft chest. It is indeed. However, if we go ahead and throw in some stuff and then we break it, the stuff is still inside of the crate. Nice. So how expensive is it to upgrade this to an iron crate? The answer is not very. And then how expensive is it to upgrade to a gold crate? The answer is also not very. It's because there's no upgrade process, Isaac, you fool. I'm asking how we upgrade, but there's actually, you just craft it. You don't have to make the previous tiers. So we can actually go straight in with gold here. And hopefully this is larger. It is. Nice. Okay, cool. So I think we will definitely move over to something like this. And then if we put this for now, I guess right about here. And then we have a hopper going like this. That should take all of the resultant golden ingots and pop them out over in there. It does indeed. Fantastic. And then the final bit, if we really wanted to make this as automated as is humanly possible, would be to get one more iron ingot, grab one more hopper, and stick it on the left side here so that we can automatically feed the coal chunks directly into this golden furnace here. So hopefully, any second now, this furnace is crazy fast, by the way, and we will work, I think, in the next episode on upgrading the basic crusher to the more advanced crusher to make this a little faster as well. But for now, we have the iron ingots, good stuff. We can come back over, we can craft up yet another chest, and then yet another hopper. And I think I will also go ahead and make our very first storage drawer as well. Storage drawers is in the pack, which I'm very happy about. It's a very good mod. It does require a little bit more wood than that. But if we do this, this, and this, we can get a regular old oak drawer, which, for those who don't know, stores one of any item, but can store up to 2048 of that item. And so if we do something like this, and inside of that drawer, we go ahead and put, let's say, a few stacks of coal chunks, like so, those will then slowly but surely be fed over into the furnace. There's 170 backed up in the drawer there. And so this system is almost as automated as it can be. Obviously, it's not fully automated. We have to keep pumping coal both into the coal generator, which currently isn't automated, and also into the coal furnace. Unfortunately, the coal generator cannot accept the coal chunks. You have to put regular old coal into that, but we do now have an ore quadrupling system that we can put any of our ores into, and I guess even if we want to take it one step further and actually fully make it as automated as possible, even though it is a little bit janky here, and look at me using the two sides of our dual crafter because I didn't have the chest ready. Boom. And boom, we could actually go ahead and, at this point, we're going to need like a freaking step ladder to get up there, but we could put another hopper up on top of this machine so that we can actually put our ores into that hopper, or maybe even, let's say, into, I was going to say an iron crate, but again, it's a nightmare getting up here. If we put our crate down like that, beautiful. So in the next episode, we're definitely going to try and refine this setup a little bit, because there are tubes, which I mentioned previously, that we can use, and real quick, I'm going to sleep because it's very dark. There are tubes that we can use to probably make this a little bit less janky, like not having to have it go quite so high up. But for now, if we were to just throw any of our ores up and into there, they should ideally get processed, get sent down, get smelted, get quadrupled, and then get dumped out into the crate, which is absolutely fantastic. And with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode of Feed the Beast Unstable there. As always, if you did enjoy the video and you want to see more in the future, be sure to go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new here to get notified as soon as new videos go out. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.